So this is a new series that I'm doing called A Genshin Conversation. Now, that is a working title. We might change as time goes on. But right now, it is called A Genshin Conversation. And basically what it is that it's the community getting involved in a video like this, where you guys will ask questions about my thoughts on something, and I will respond to it. Or you can make a statement about something in Genshin. Most people were very nice and asked questions as well. Now, I will say, we're going to be doing this every once in a while. So if your question wasn't answered, do not feel bad. I chose around 12 or 13 of all the overall questions, and it's not because there was any bad questions. I really feel like every single question that was asked was super, super good. But it's one of those cases where it's like, you know, don't feel discouraged. We're going to be doing this again, and you can either re-ask your question because they all were very good, or you can ask a different question. And yeah, it won't be like, you know, it's just like 12 or 13 or so that I picked. That's the way we're going to do this, because answering them all would probably take forever. But I do appreciate everyone asking questions here. This guy is gorgeous. This whole place is gorgeous. So we're going to explore while also answering some questions about Genshin. So the first question we got is, and they're pretty similar, so I put them together. It's from Suzumitsu. So who are some characters you have that haven't met or interacted much or at all, but you think they'd be interesting to have an interesting dynamic? Whether that's friendly or hostile or whatever else. I think there's some favorite pairings or groups we could have. Are there any characters you really want to interact or meet with each other? This is from, by the way, S. Minako V. For me, it's a tie between Vaan and I, and Neuvillette and Zhongli. Vaan and A. Yeah, interesting. That's actually a very interesting question, I think, because I think dynamics are such an important thing to me in Genshin. They always have been such an important thing to me. We're going to be unlocking waypoints today, by the way. And I talk about all the time how, like, you can put any two characters together in Genshin and it's going to be one of the most interesting. Is this down below? It probably is down below. So we might have to go get this one. You can put any two characters together in Genshin and you're going to get an absolutely, like, brilliant interaction. And it's going to be a memorable one that you're going to remember forever. Get the swing here from him as well. And the ones you guys were saying there, the idea of, like, Neuvillette and Zhongli, that's a scary one for me, but it's also a very, very cool one for me as well. One of the ones I've been thinking of, first of all, I want to say that, like, I think I want Candace to be, you know, involved in way more. The other day we were talking about characters that, like, and someone asked me, I think, is there any character that you're just kind of, like, indifferent to? And Candace's design is, like, an S-tier design. She looks incredible, but there's also this feeling for me where it's like, yeah, her design is incredible, but, like, I don't know her as well enough as I do other characters. So it might be nice, I don't know, to get, like, to know her a little bit better and to have her, like, introduced to some other characters. Now, if I had to pick a character that would be with Candace, I think anybody that would, like, be, like, such, like, a odd pairing that would work out so well at the same time. Like, a Candace and, like, an Amber would be so interesting to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just Amber, like, taking Candace on, like, a few trips around the place, but also Candace teaching Amber a few things as well. Where's this thing that I'm looking for here? Is it above us even further up? Yeah, it is. It's right there. How do we get on top of that? But you know what I mean? Like an Amber and a Candace or something like that as well. Or like a Kale and a Candace or something like that. Can we climb this? Or is this like a job for Seedlolly? It might be a job for Seedlolly. You know what? I think today we could definitely put Seedlolly on the team too.
Whatever you need.
Heck yeah, whatever we need. Thank you, Seedlolly. Yeah. But yeah, I just want to see more of Candace. I really do, and I want to get to know her more. And it does feel like one of those things where it's like, did we get up here? Or is this like is it even higher than that? Okay. Wait. Let's go. Let's go. Let's hope and pray. Yes, awesome. Where's the next one we're going to? But yeah, that's definitely like the one I would definitely like to have interact with people. In terms of like more serious story interactions, I really, like, selfishly eventually would want to see like Vaan and Sethos interact on screen as well. I think selfishly, like, I think everyone's waiting for the Vaan, and I say selfishly because I don't think Genshin needs to do it, but like I think it'd be very interesting to have, like, you know, because like if there's like a final battle or something and there's a bunch of people involved, right? To have like an interaction where like Vaan saves Kazuha, or Kazuha saves Vaan, or they interact with each other and just a nod of the head and they move on. Something like that would be really, really cool. I think it'd be really cool to find fun as well. But yeah, my answer would be like Candace with anybody. I'd love to see more Candace. I know she's probably in a lot of events too, but you know what I mean? In the game, I'd love to see like her come back in like a story quest or something like that, or even in a future event. You know what I mean? So I can see her as well. So that's what for my reasoning anyway, for sure. A more Candace interaction so I can get to know her even better. We're going to stop every time we read a question because I want to actually be able to read them. Lila Kevin says, Calvin, Lila Caven, by the way. Calvin, what do you think about Vaughn's character growth? Would you consider him a hero or a villain? Additionally, between Vaan and Xiao, who would you choose? Vaughn's story and his character to me, how far below is this? This is like near a boss. I guess we can get from here maybe? Yeah, we can go down here and get that. Vaughn's character growth is one of my favorite things about Genshin, and it's one of those things where, like I said it before, he is like to me like one of the Genshin like main characters, you know, because it's so interesting. We followed his story from Inazuma to Sumeru, and then of course he had the events afterwards as well. But he has such an interesting story that can be tracked, you know, throughout. Do we have a key for this? We do. It's not only throughout like story quests, but throughout like notes we read and like through other characters talking about him as well. I really feel like he is a character that has gone through so much and so much pain, but to come out on the other side and be just such a fantastic example of like growth and what friendship and love can do for someone. Because the thing is like he talks about Nahida in his voice lines in a way that's so beautiful. He puts her down in a way that's bringing her up, right? It's like the way he talks about her is like, why would she even do this? Maybe it's just she has some ulterior motive. Maybe she's just like benevolent. You know, he calls her benevolent and stuff like this. It's like the only Archon that I think he actually appreciates in a lot of ways. So it is a very beautiful interaction between the two of them. But his character growth is special. It's special to me. It's powerful. Is this did we fight this boss before? We can check it out. What's the smoke? Oh my god, that's terrifying. I think we may have. But yeah, his character, yeah, it's special to me and so powerful the way that they've actually like, yeah, we probably won't be fighting this boss anyway. We're just looking for the waypoints, but we're going to get this next. I think with a character like Vaan, it's like one of those things where the Genshin can really look at their characters and be like really proud of their characters and what they've written for their characters. And with Vaan, he is that. I also think that when it comes to like his character, it's not even like done yet. And I know like Kevin didn't say it's done yet, but like the character growth has been so strong and we're going to get to see more of it eventually. And the game loves letting us see more. The last summer event that happened, the Sumeru event, which I actually forgot the name of the Sumeru event, is one where Kaveh won the whole competition. That was also a big deal for for Vaan as well. It shows like these little tiny pieces of character growth, and it shows that Genshin doesn't forget about its characters either when it comes to the growth of its characters too. Yeah, but I think it's like one of the most important in the entire series and one of the best in the entire series. And in terms of who I would choose between Xiao and Vaan, in terms of story, I think that both of them have like very powerful and beautiful stories, right? They're so amazing, they're so impactful emotionally, and they get to me every single time. In terms of just like characters that I love, like I hope people understand when I say this, like Vaan is my guy, but like Xiao is like he is Genshin Impact to me in a lot of ways. He is the guy that was my guy originally, you know? And so I always like have like a great appreciation for him as well, for sure. The next question is from mine, 4017. What feature or trait would you like to see in a future playable character that hasn't been featured yet? It could be something related to physical appearance, clothing, or personality. For example, no playable character has a beard so far, strangely enough. That is interesting. In terms of like new playable characters, like I do love like, you know, I love one of my favorite designs is JRPG protagonists, but like Genshin has like really changed my perception on like what a good character design can be. I think with like, for example, like Hu Tao, like I never liked the color brown on characters. I know it sounds weird. You're gonna be like, what, the color brown? What do you mean you never liked the color brown? I never liked the color brown on a lot of characters. You know what I mean? It was never like something I never thought it looked great. And then like Zhongli and Hu Tao come along and it's like, oh my god, this is like, oh my god.
Here, let me help.
And then also we have like some of the prettiest designs ever with like the brown colors as well. In terms of like what design I would like or what feature I would like for a new character, I think it might be cool to have a character who like predominantly does. Well, no, we have that with I was gonna say we probably does like Brazilian like kicks and stuff like this, but like I think we have like a few characters that do similar stuff like that. I wonder. I think it might be cool, right? And this is really crazy. You know that they have like rune guardians and rune graders? What if they had like a soul? And it's like a different rune grader. Obviously, it fits the diameters of a Genshin, character that they can actually like do stuff and like move around the world and stuff. You're not a rune grader. You're like the size of, say, maybe like a Kanich or the size of a Zhongli, but you're looking like you're a rune grader. You're like a rune guardian, but you're the size of a Kanich or a Zhongli or something like that. And I know that sounds kind of weird. I know it's kind of be like how would that even work? From my perspective, it would be like some mission where like a soul got put in one of the rune graders, and we bring them back into society, and we get to play as this character who is like a rune grader, but like is like in the shape of like a human. You know what? It's a good example. Probably like it would obviously bring a whole different dynamic if you had a character that like was similar to like a Mechamaru in Jujutsu Kaisen, right? It would probably be very heartbreaking and a very horrible story, but I think it would also bring in like whatever lore implications that would be, I think would be absolutely insane as well. So thank you for that question as well. The next one comes from Jewel Knight Jess. Hi, Romer. Would you rather explore Dragon Spine or Natlan Volcano if you could in real life, and why? And which character would you go with? That's such an interesting question, because the answer would usually be neither, but that's no fun. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be that person that's like, hey, neither. I never would. Because it's like, okay, it's a hypothetical. I do way better in cold than I do in warm. But I wonder if, like, I could handle... Now, here's the thing. You said you bring someone with you, which I think is the most important part. I think the idea that we can bring someone with us means that we can actually, like, survive some of the harsher climates if we bring somebody with us that could help us out a bit. So on my money, I would probably bring someone like a Gamin to Dragonspine. Or bring, like... I'm trying to think of... Oh, no, Hu Tao. Hu Tao, for sure, Hu Tao. Because I think Hu Tao would lift my spirits up. She would be so, like, weird and kooky that she'd be telling me so many, like, funny jokes on the way up. The only thing is, like, Gamin or Hu Tao would be perfect choices. Because they would, like, just help you out. They'd be funny. They'd be sweet to hang around with. They'd lift up your spirits, while also being able to, like, fend off stuff with fire. So they'd be the two characters I would pick to go on Dragonspine. I wouldn't like to go to a volcano, because I'm not agile enough to dodge those flames. But I do know... Now, I could have a character that could carry me. You know what I mean? If I bring Ito with me and he just carries me around the place, maybe that could help. But I think for now, I think it would be Hu Tao and Gamin and going to Dragonspine. That would be my... look at these guys over here. That would be my choice for now. I hope you guys don't mind me stopping to read the questions. I kind of want to, like, not miss anything. The next question is from Laughing Penguin 5088. Or maybe you could talk about your favorite moments from each Archon quest. Or could you tell us which characters you'd like to see return in future events / quests? So I already kind of said this with Candace. But in terms of my favorite moments from each Archon quest, like if I had to choose one moment from each Archon quest, it would probably be very difficult. I can say that, like, overall, I think of, like, a lot of the moments from the Archon quest quite a bit, and they fill me with a lot of joy. What tends to happen is I will see, like, certain moments flash in my mind. And I think it happens to everybody. You see a moment flash in your mind where, like, oh, I remember when that happened. It was so freaking fun. Or so cool, or so emotional. Like, when I think about Fontaine, you know what I legitimately think about? I think about when the flooding was happening and everyone was saving everybody in the flood. But I also, like, strangely always think about Nahida crying in front of Nouvellette quite a bit. Oh, look at this little space, this little story it has. That's very cute. I think those were so many powerful scenes, and, like, obviously Nahida's one of my favorite characters in the entire game, so, like, that makes sense. But I think of those scenes a lot when I think of Fontaine, and that's a big series. When I think of, like, Inazuma, I think of the Raiden Shogun, like, walking down the steps towards us as Paimon is trying to wake us up. A truly horrifying sight for anyone to behold. How do we get up here, I wonder? Is there a way to get up here from here, maybe? Maybe up and around? We could climb. Yeah, we can climb and talk. Yeah, truly like a beautiful but horrifying and scary sight. Still so impressive whenever I think about it. When I think about Mondstadt, I think about, like, honestly, I think about meeting Amber for the first time. It's just like, it's always on my mind. I love that character so much. I love her to pieces. So grateful every day that we even got to, like, exist in Mondstadt. Liyue, Liyue, I always like. I'm talking about just the stuff that flashes in my mind first when I think of Ijeri. When I think of Liyue, I think of like when Ningguang is telling everyone to guard the area, you know, all this stuff, and then like Child comes and helps us out in that sense. Or when Xiao catches us. When Xiao catches us, it's always like a big moment for me as well. But there's so many moments that happen in each region, by the way. Like, because in Sumeru, I think about all the dinner times we had with the crew, right? The lunch we had with all our favorite characters. Seeing Calais for the first time. But if I named out all the stuff, like, and of course in Natlan, it's like still all of it's fresh in my mind. But I think like for some reason, seeing Kachina, the first ever moment, it was just like, here's the first ever Natlan character we're meeting. I think the thing about Genshin, I think you guys understand, this isn't even a cop-out, you guys know this. The moments in Genshin are so impactful and so amazing. They're so incredible and they're so memorable that like, it's very difficult to pick some, so that's instead of picking some today, I told you what's ingrained in my brain whenever I think of a region first, that's what I think of. And I hope that has helped out with that answer quite a bit. The next question is from Popsicle Cloud 9150. You brought up this question, and I'd very much like to hear more on how you'd want Totori to meet his end. Or not his end, since he won't be able to feel the suffering like that. Like mine's forming a team with Aether, Wander, Calais, and Diluc. Us plus 3 victims of Totori. We know forming an alliance would honestly be the best, if not all of Sumeru. Yeah, so my thing with this as well is that I've had this picture in my mind as well for a long time. This idea of like how would this character meet their end, right? Now, I generally think in the end he's probably not gonna... I think... Knowing Genshin's writing... They do like poetic justice in like a way that is like so impressive all the time. They do such a good job of poetic justice. They do a good job of making characters lose in a way that fits the crime in some cases, right? And with Totori, I think yes, like he has done so many horrible things, but I think one of the best things that could happen is like to Totori is... And it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't think it has to be poetic. I think in this is one of those times where he does probably just need to get slapped around the place. And by the way, I want to say to people that like, I know people love him, and I have so many people who like, think he's so pretty and all this stuff as well. And that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. I always bring up the idea that I love Bakura and Yu-Gi-Oh! And he like was about to like kill a bunch of people, you know? It's legitimately like, you know, not a big deal whatsoever. But I do think that my dream situation... in terms of the writing, and it sounds weird to have this as my dream, but it would be Calais. Is this up top here? It is. Okay. It would be Calais. We haven't actually been to the Ancestral Temple, have we? It would be Calais being like Calais, it's like a final battle of some kind, or a big battle of some kind. Maybe we're in Sumeru in some way. And Totori, like, and the only reason I don't really want this as well, because I don't want Totori anywhere near Calais, but like Calais is like, you know, working hard. There's a battle going on. Totori comes up and he has no intention of like hurting her at this moment, because like he's literally just by happenstance they just happen to be both in the same place. They're both moving from, you know, like into a different area or whatever. Maybe Calais got lost or something. And Totori is there. And then Vaan is like, then he's like, hey, you know, don't tell anyone where I am right now. And she's like, I'm going to have to like go tell someone. And he's like, okay, then I'm going to have to deal with you. And then at that moment, that's when Vaan swoops in and we swoop in at the same time. And what happens is that there's this thing where we kind of go like, we defeat him and we go, he's not worth it, right? We go, he's not worth it. And Kali's like, I'm not going to like I'm not going to do this because it gives you too much satisfaction. And at that moment, Vaan literally like comes down and just like blasts him to smithereens. And like, it's because and why, like, you know, people could say like, oh, well, that goes against Vaughn's character now. I don't think Vaughn's character is him. Can we get this over here, I wonder? I don't think Vaughn's character is him like, we'll get this first. It's him just like not, you know, beating people up ever again. We know he's still very vicious and he's helpful, right? But I do think that he, of all people, deserves the right to do this. Now, another way I could see this going as well is Totori sniveling, happy as hell that like that us three are so angry with him. You know what I mean? And then at that moment, we all three of us just go, then at that moment, Vaan then goes, and this is like contradicting my original statement, but I think it would be good too. Then at that moment, Vaan goes, you know what? Seeing you like this was all I ever needed. And Vaan starts to walk away, and we're both looking at him, Kale and us. Look at this area, man. It's so pretty. Is this like a world quest as well? It's so, so pretty. But yeah, Vaan starts to walk away. Kale follows after, and And as he's walking by, he like he grabs Kale's hand, lifts her up, and says, "Are you doing okay?" And she nods her head. That would be perfect as well. Either or. But obviously, I would like the end that like preserves characters the most, right? That's for sure. This is a beautiful place. Holy hell. If that makes sense. Get the chest up there. I have thoughts about this. You guys tell me which one you would prefer more, right? And it's okay if you say neither. The next question.
Go on, take them. I'll thank the stars for you later.
Is from Juliana RCNI. What are your favorite relationships between characters, not necessarily romantic? Who do you think is the best banter? In terms of like just like relationships in general, I love the I know it's not like technically a relationship, but the Zhongli Venti like references to each other makes me laugh every single time. Like I love the fact that Zhongli like has this like quiet disdain for Venti, but I love Venti so much. I adore him so much. One of the best characters in the history of Genshin, in the history of the world. But yeah, he has. I love that they're like quiet interactions with each other that they don't really have with each other. Hu Tao and Zhongli is also like one of my favorite things. It's very like sweet, and I think it's also like this like acknowledgement of each other. This is such a cool place, by the way. It's so pretty. It's like this acknowledgement of each other and their talents and stuff. I guess. What is that? I'm worried about going down below here just in case it might be like a world quest of some kind. So we might not go down here just yet, but I will get this. Oh, we can't even go here. Okay. We can if we open this, right? But yeah, like those Hu Tao and Zhongli, super sweet to me. Xiao and Zhongli just like makes me want to cry sometimes. Like legitimately, like I'm like every time I see them two together, it fills my heart with so much freaking joy. And at the same time makes me want to burst into, you know, those type of tears you see, like, you know, when you're like already emotional and like then you see like a picture of you see like a little kitten and you're like, oh God, you know what I mean? You're like, it's so pretty. You know what I mean? It changes like everything almost instantly. I don't know, that kind of way. This place is gorgeous. Like, look at this. This is like the type of location, again, we talk about this all the time, the type of locations that I love so dearly. The locations of like that feel like they're kind of forbidden, I suppose, in a lot of ways. This is what looks like that. Yeah, we should explore it a lot more later. We might make a full video on it, actually.
One trick pony, you know.
Like, look at that. Stunning. Such a gorgeous location. Such a gorgeous location. Like, it looks so run down, but at the same time, so, like, mythical and beautiful and stuff. Yeah, so, like, I think Xiao and Zhongli are, like, definitely, like, my, yeah, those ones. Was there a second part to the question? Was there, I hope you didn't, did you ask, who do you think has the best banter? Yeah, in terms of the best banter, the best fun between two characters, let me think, because I always like get very emotional at characters, but Kachina, Mulanni, they are sisters through and through, but they're like sisters that like get along so well. Look at the rain here; it's gorgeous. In this, especially like in this chasm. Yeah, their relationship is so fun to me as well. I know it's like primarily in the comic books and stuff like as well, but like Amber and Kale, I love dearly too. That's another one that's in like the top 5 of my favorite relationships in this game. Mona and Fish. Oh no, Mona and Fischl. Holy hell, what a hilarious combination. Whoever came up with that, like, I hope and pray that whoever came up with that still gets praised to this day in the writer's room for Genshin. I hope and pray that whoever came up with that still gets praised, because that's an absolutely amazing combination. It really is. Just how much just how much energy they have and how they much love to compete. They compete with each other. How Mona's just sometimes so done with Fischl, because Mona's like very extravagant and she's very like, you know, like how do you say, like she's very like flamboyant, but even she can't handle Fischl sometimes. But I think they're like they love each other in the end too. Yeah, those would be my favorite kind of like companionships, I suppose, as well. Xingqiu and Xiangyang as well is also very funny. But if I named all the companions I really loved, I'd be here forever. I would say that my favorite ones in terms of emotions is probably Xiao and Zhongli and Hu Tao and Zhongli. My favorite ones just in comedy is probably Mona and Fischl. I think they're so fun together. They really are. Thank you so much, Juliana. The next question comes from Heather Hylia. One I always like to ask is, what's the Tsaritsa up to? Opinions and thoughts. We know that Tsaritsa has this benevolent feel to her, right? She has this idea that she is like, incredibly like, you know, she's about free will and the idea of like letting people do their own thing, which I think is like, you know, a really cool thing in general. But I think I'm always with you guys in some cases, like, and we talked about this before, look how beautiful the spirit ways are as well. Because I talked about this before with you guys. I think that, like, she's almost too perfect, right? In a lot of ways. The way she goes on, it's like, she's clearly a part of an organization that we are going to have more problems with. But there's something about her that's just like, there's something there that has to be below, you know, that isn't very good. Now, here's the thing. I also want to say that, like, collecting all the gnosis is a red flag instantly. That's a red flag. No matter what, it's a red flag. But I'm kind of, like, on board with the idea of, like, not the Archons, but, like, Celestia. Being against Celestia, I'm kind of on board for that. Now, in terms of what her plan is, I honestly don't think I could tell you exactly what I think her plan is. I think it's going to be something that can, like, change in some ways, like, the, like, fate itself to maybe, like, even, like, reverse time or something, or reverse fate in people's memories, or change the ley lines themselves in order to, like, maybe stop Celestia from ever existing, or get to a place where they can destroy Celestia. Is that Mikey? Is that a quest? Oh, that might be the quest for... Oh, okay. Mikey, I'm sorry, I'll leave you just for now. I didn't even realize. I think that is literally... Is it? Wait, what is Mikey doing over there? Is this like an optional quest? I don't want to start now just because I won't have the time to do it, but yeah. Where's the next waypoint we want to unlock? Over here? Did we not already unlock this? Let's see. Here. Yeah, there is obviously something there, right? There is obviously something there, but I think that there's some, whatever the plan is, it's to stop Celestia. It's to destroy, in my opinion, either like it's to do something against Celestia, or something along those lines. Now again, I could be completely wrong. My idea of it could be completely wrong, but yeah, it's something to stop Celestia. I just know that, like, when the interaction happens between us and Tsaritsa, it's going to be one of the biggest moments in the history of Genshin Impact. I think everyone could agree to that for sure. But I don't think she's as nice as she says. The next question is from One Der Knight. Is there anything you can say you like about Toturi? Do you feel like you want to learn about him, or just simply want to meet his end? What do you want to expect for the Harbingers in general, especially those you know less about, if you're interested in sharing? I want to learn more about Toturi. Of course I do. I think that for me, if you gave me the choice of, like, learn more about him and he survives, and then learn nothing about him and he will meet his end, then it's like, that's a tough choice for me. But I feel like always in Genshin, even if like, and I'm saying this right now, no matter what the backstory is for Toturi, and I'm saying this now to you guys, no matter what the backstory is for Toturi, the crimes that he committed cannot be forgiven by me whatsoever. And I never do forgive crimes in this game, but I will always look at them in a bad light. But I am a big lover in story and information, regardless of, Vasher is a perfect example. Evil character, but it was interesting to learn about his character, right? I'm trying to think of other characters who, like, weren't very good. There's been plenty of characters in this game. We just say there's plenty of characters in this game where, like, it's like, man, this guy sucks. This guy is absolutely awful. Why am I going this way? This guy is absolutely awful, but what's this? This is another boss as well? They usually show us how to get there, right? Through here, okay. Yeah, it's like, this guy's awful, but I still want to learn about them. Because I think that, like, learning about them isn't accepting them. Learning about them isn't forgiving them. Learning about them isn't saying that they're good people. It's just learning about them in general. I think that's not a bad thing whatsoever. And it's one of those things that I'd never, like, team up with them or anything like that. Obviously, I wouldn't have the choice if that's the way the game went. That's just the way I would look at it. And I understand as well, like, again, I want to make it clear for any Toturi fans out there, right? For any lovely Toturi fans, because again, I want to, like every person who, like, thinks Toturi is absolutely beautiful, and I have patrons, I have commenters, all this stuff. I want to make it clear to you guys, like, you're also sweet. You are very sweet. So I don't, like, it's not like you know, it's not like I'm trying to paint Totori fans as like, it's like, oh, if you like him, you like him. Like, everyone's always so sweet when it comes to their opinions about characters like this and stuff like that, you know?
So don't get any ideas.
So like, I have no problem saying that you're obviously very sweet, and I would never disrespect you just over a character and over your like of a fictional character like that. The next one is from Golden Witch Alchemist. And by the way, I'm using your ats, by the way, not your actual names, because YouTube only shows your ats, and you have to click into all the channels to really see all the real names or the full names. But the reason I chose this question, because it's another question about companionship, but there's a combination in this question that, like, is awesome. Throughout the Genshin updates, a few characters have traveled to other nations and met other characters. In your ideal update, who would you want to see interact? Personally, I want Fischl to be invited to roleplay Farina in another D&D game. Also, I desperately need Ahau and Ito to argue over something silly like Ushi being stronger than the almighty Dragon Lord cool Ahau. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this here, because I really think that Genshin should steal this idea. They should steal the idea of putting these two characters together. Fischl and Farina. Right? Sorry about that, Sid Lolly. Is legitimately because I think that's an amazing idea. And I think that a Farina-Fischl interaction is needed. While I talked about interactions I would love to see already, like, you know, and a Farina-Fischl interaction is something that, like, I would pray for. Can you imagine, like, a character who is, like, you know, acting all the time versus a character who, like, is a fantastic actor in her own right in Farina? Oh my god, look at this place. So smoky. Meeting up with each other, I think it would make for, like, so many incredible interactions. And so many, like, over-the-top, funny, hilarious, beautiful, absolutely amazing interactions. I think there's, like, two ways. Look at this. Holy crap. Look at this. So that's going to be Boston there as well, but this location is fantastic. Freaking hell. Stunning. Yeah. I think that the interaction could go one or two ways, where we either get, like, the two of them at each other's throats for a bit, and then they become friends, or they become friends instantly, and they are best friends forever. I can imagine, that's the most likely thing. I think the two of them would, like, be so fun together. I think Farina would see Fischl as someone that she could have on the stage tomorrow and be like, this is my gal. This is my gal. Which I think would be absolutely incredible as well. Yeah, so that's why I wanted to include this as well as one of the other inserts as well. That's going to do it for this Genshin conversation. I might do this again just, like, maybe, like, down the line. It's not going to be, like, every month or every week, just whenever I want to do it. But for now, I had a good time conversing with you guys, so I want to say thank you so much for asking your questions. Again, to the people that didn't get your questions in, I do apologize. Sometimes it's one of those things where if I picked everyone, I would be here for absolutely ever. And there's nothing wrong with that either, but, like, it's, you know, we'll choose, like, I guess, like 10 or 12 or something for every single time we do this. I think that'll be the best option going forward. So please ask your questions again, or you can re-ask your questions, because your questions are actually very good. Your questions are very good. It's just I would have been here forever asking all of them, so you can re-ask your questions next time we do this as well, and it'll be actually fine too. And it has a good chance of getting in as well. Or if you want to re-ask a different question, you can also too. Thank you so much to Tyfire2, JB Bull, Jared Banana, The Ghost of Inazuma, Felicious Felix, Yules, Radish and Nusta, Death Trap, Lynx Markey, The Assassin, Colorbow, True Peanut Butter, Peter Shelson, Heck, SR Fiji, Leon, Hike Asperian, and Jared Beanham, and I'll see you all so soon. Bye-bye.